Plaintiff Elisa Zahner rented an apartment from the defendant, but after she moved in, he started making inappropriate comments to her and would often stare at her breasts. She's suing for a security deposit and property that she claims the defendant disposed of. Defendant Paul Saylor says he never made inappropriate comments to Elisa or stared at her breasts. Paul claims Elisa abandoned the property, and he's countersuing because Elisa trashed the unit before she moved out.
Start with you.
Well, I was renting from this gentleman back from June in 2011. He fixed everything at first. When I called him, he would answer. Shortly afterwards, he started making comments at me, like how I looked in my outfits and just
That's
making...
untrue, Your Honor.
Where would you see him?
At my house. When he would come in to look at, like, when he'd come to fix things, he'd also make comments at me.
Like what?
Like, oh, he'd stare at my breast, more like when he was talking to me, but...
That's totally
He would stare
incorrect,
at your
Your Honor.
Yeah,
breast.
he would be staring at my breast, and he told me one time, he said that my bottom looked good in the outfit that I was wearing.
Okay. What else?
One time he almost walked into the shower. My friend was there at the time. He was in the house to fix some stuff. He went to walk towards the bathroom. My friend was standing at the door, and I could hear him because the door was open.
untrue,
But
Your Honor.
Quiet, sir.
Her friend actually.
Sir. What?
the shower curtain,
Keep looking at your papers or whatever that is you think you're about to argue as a lawyer. Go ahead.
the shower curtain was shut, but the bathroom door was open, and I could hear him getting closer. And that really bothered me.
What made you think he was going to come in on you and get in the shower with
Yeah,
you?
I had a
I'm
friend.
asking you, what made you
Thank
think
God,
that?
I had a friend that was there. He ended up leaving after that. My friend told him to leave.
Oh, your friend said, why are you going into the shower? Leave.
She said she's in the shower right now. And
Oh, she stopped him and said, oh, he was going into the bathroom and
Yes.
you assume he was coming into the shower.
Yes.
He knew you were in there.
yeah, I was in there bathing.
He knew you were in
He
there.
knew I was in there.
Okay, sir.
Alyssa was a problem tenant almost immediately after moving in.
How so?
To begin with, she immediately moved in another adult over the age of 18 who did not notify me he was not on the lease he was supposed to be.
That was a big problem for you.
There wasn't a huge issue, but it was an issue.
Okay.
Shortly thereafter, she did pay her first month's rent on time.
What about you making comments about her body parts and trying to go into the bathroom knowing she was in there?
Well, I don't know how to deny something I didn't do, but...
Did you say you didn't do it?
Did
That's
do
how
it.
you deny it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
told you
I
were
didn't
going to
do
come
it.
in here and try to play lawyer. You can't play this, Doc. You got to go to law school and pass the bar.
I'm not up to that.
I don't know how to deny something I didn't do.
More importantly, provide
Go
proof,
ahead.
Your Honor.
Go ahead. So you didn't try and come in the bathroom while she was there. You didn't make comments about her body parts.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
To rebuttal her, I was in the apartment. She was in
There's
the bathroom.
another big word for
Yeah,
butter.
rebuttal. Go ahead.
She was in the bathroom. I'd called her just previous to going over there. This is my third attempt to go over there to fix a heater. I did leave the following day. I came back with an electrician. The electrician made
You didn't walk toward the bathroom to try
I did
and
walk
get in?
toward the bathroom. Her friend was at the bathroom door, asked if we wanted to show me the repairs and whatnot. So when her friend told me to stop, I stopped. And when she
Oh,
said
so
to
you
leave,
weren't headed into the bathroom.
was not heading in the bathroom.
You were following her
I
friend.
was following her friend, yes. The thermostat was in the kitchen. Her friend
You
wanted
weren't
it.
told that?
No.
All right.
She was already by the bathroom. She let him in and came to the bathroom and was relaying messages between us. And he started walking closer. And I said, what is he doing? And that's when he stopped. She said, she's in the shower, which he already knew. He could hear the water. I was in there splashing around, washing up.
Let's get to what else you said was wrong.
Well, she did cause the sewer system in the building to back up. She has 5 kids under 5. She was the only tenant in the building with any babies in the building. It was baby wipes that clogged the sewer.
About you making comments about her body parts and trying to go into the bathroom knowing she was in there.
Well, I don't know how to deny something I didn't do, but...
Did you say you didn't do it?
Did
That's
do
how
it.
you deny it.
Plaintiff Elisa Zahner says after she rented an apartment from the defendant, he started making inappropriate comments to her and was constantly looking at her breasts.
All right, let me get to her. Ma'am, what do you want to tell me you're suing him about?
Okay, so after he stopped fixing things, he became short after my boyfriend moved in with me because I was uncomfortable with him coming in the house whenever he wanted to. He even came into the home without permission twice that I know of. He stopped fixing things and was real short. On the lease, he provides lawn care and trash.
What are you suing him for today?
For my belongings. When I went back home, I asked him to be out because a crackhead that lived in the house that
You
he
asked
allows.
what?
I asked him if I could move.
And what did he say?
He said that was fine. I told him I'd be out around the 10th. So I got everything I can get out on the 9th. On the 10th, when I came back after I got off of work, the locks had already been changed, but I wasn't completely out. Whenever on the 9th he came to my house, he seen me, he dropped off paint. He told me he would wait to hear from me. I had yet to call him. I had all day working, and I went to the house after work, and I was there at 4:30 on the 10th, the last day that I had for tenancy, but I had paid for the 10th, so shouldn't I still be able to get my stuff out?
We didn't receive any funds for the 10th until at least a week after she moved.
Sir, you tell me about her moving out, the date she gave you, and what occurred.
The date she gave me, Your Honor, was February 10th. We agreed on February 10th. I called her or had talked to her the night before. We did go by there in the morning of the 10th. There was a lot of items in the living room visible from the window. We did not make entry. As I had placed the unit on Craigslist, because she told me she'd be vacated.
She wasn't in the shower, so they didn't come in.
Go ahead.
She said it'd be cleaned up. I had a call at 3:30. I've been calling her all day. She would not return my phone calls. I had a call at 3:30 from the Craigslist ad. We went over there. The items that were there previously in the morning were gone. We made entry at that point. There was a strong smell of sewage. That's when we went downstairs and called the sewer company to have them come pump out the sewer and clean it out. There was about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of sewage in the basement. All her items in the basement had sewage on them. At that point, we removed any item that had human feces on it from the unit. The dishes in the sink were also covered in food and other debris and had been left there. We removed those from the unit.
What time did you start removing things?
Not till about 5:30, Your Honor.
Okay. And you say you got there at 4:30.
Yeah, and the locks
What was happening when you got there?
the locks were already changed and the stuff was already on the curb.
Was anyone there?
That's
No.
incorrect.
No one was there.
The tenant upstairs is the one who, when I called him, he said he gave the belongings to, and I went there.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I'd like to present this letter.
What is it?
It's from the upstairs neighbor saying that she had held some of her items till she came back, and that wasn't until about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I have some other
It
evidence.
says she came back at 9:30 or 10?
I don't know what the letter says exactly,
You
Your
just
Honor.
said it. That's what you said. Where do you get that information from then?
Yeah, to get things. Yeah, there's no times on there, no, Your Honor.
Your Honor. He placed this ad on Craigslist at 10:20 a.m. and put it on here, available immediately. Everything in my kitchen was still there. I had everything out.
You have those items listed? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. So how did you get in when you came back? Oh, you didn't get in. He had put them out. Mm-hmm. All right. And do you know anything about sewage problems?
Yeah, that's the problem. When I called him to fix things, he wouldn't fix anything, and I kept smelling sewage.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I wanted to get out of the house, because it was coming from over by the washer and dryer area, and I have 5 kids, and yeah, there
Right.
might be some smell of boo-boo by the trash, but it shouldn't smell like...
No, you don't cause a sewage problem, that's for sure.
And-
Sir,
Yes, Your Honor.
did she ever ask you to come and fix the sewer?
She did just prior to moving out, Your Honor, and I honestly didn't feel it was a credible complaint at the time, Your Honor. I'd been
but
working
you
with
found
her.
out it was a credible complaint
Yes, it was.
when you went there and saw all the sewage
Oh,
and
yeah,
saw
sure.
her things ruined because you did not come and meet your obligation, counselor. See, that's the part of lawyering you learn in law school.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you take that bar exam.
Your Honor, was it'd have been ruined had it been immediately or 2 days later, which it was.
You told me the reason it was ruined.
Was sewage.
And you said it was because of the sewage.
Correct.
And then you also admitted that she complained to you and asked you to repair
Just
the
prior to
sewage.
moving out,
And
Your
you
Honor.
said the reason you didn't because you didn't think it was a credible
That's correct, Your Honor.
complaint. All right. Well, then that was your negligence not to repair something because you just convinced yourself for some odd reason that it wasn't credible.
Well, this was after bending over backwards to work with Ms.
Whatever, sir. The fact is, she had a credible complaint. You thought it wasn't without even seeing it, so you don't address it, and it causes damage to her property.
Plaintiff Elisa Zahner says after she rented an apartment from the defendant, he started making inappropriate comments to her and was constantly looking at her breasts.
Your claim for $915 for property damages for what? How does she owe you?
it was just numerous. There was over 65 holes in the wall. The kids had colored all over the walls. The doors were
Did
just
you do a
replaced prior-
walkthrough with her?
No, I couldn't. She called me 4 times on the evening of the 10th, about 8:30 to 10 o'clock at night, screaming and yelling. The next time I saw her, I had to
Screaming and
get
yelling about what?
About her stuff and her items. And
Oh, she
the
went there and saw that they were out.
the junk that was downstairs that we had put outside,
put
that
out.
I personally put outside, that was
So why
covered in
couldn't you
human
do
feces.
the walkthrough when you were there?
I called her that day, Your Honor. I called her and called her. She would not come, not answer.
Okay.
At that point, she threatened me. The following day,
What did she threaten to do to you?
she's going to come back. She's going to get me. She
you
knows
how?
people. So
She said, I'm
knows
going to
people.
get you.
She didn't. She
now
wasn't
you come
explicit,
across
but-
like a liar. Nobody
I'm-
even uses that term. I'm going to get you.
So
yeah, right.
she was.
yeah,
we
right.
ended up
What
finding
legal fees you want, counselor?
I had a $300 consultation with my lawyer. I would. Like
You
that.
had to talk to a lawyer? Your case is dismissed and your claim is granted. He knew and admitted that he was negligent in repairing your property because he didn't think your complaint was credible. But when he went in, he saw that it was very credible, so much so that it had ruined your property. He then disposed of your property without your permission and changed your locks. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. Go to law school if you want to play lawyer. Bye-bye.
I think my husband is happy to have me, and I really don't think he needs to look anywhere else.
Well, her husband was making comments at me, and that may be something that she wanted to open her eyes to. Slumlords, that's how they move, so.